Should be live.
No worries. I think we live on here for sure.
Yeah, it's live. Cool.
Khan. Shalom, shalom. We'd like to give all praises, double honor, and glorification to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Mashiach, Barakatah, Barakatah, and Kwame Ashal. Serving a Nashar here.
Serving Ezekiel.
Serving Josiah.
Back at it, with another video through the Spirit. This is Most High, this by all by inspiration of the Lord, of course. Inspired me through the Spirit to start this new segment, Lord willing, we could be diligent in it, called WFI Character Development. And the plan is to touch on a topic of character that can be worked on by ourselves and, the saints scattered abroad as well. So today's video is going to be the character development aspect of being sincere, in this truth. So we're going to dive into that. Let's get the definition of sincerity by Bashar. So, Lord willing, we could be diligent in this particular office of showing forth to the sheep, and of course ourselves, so we be not hypocrites. Character development, right? The definition of sincere, it says free from pretense or deceit, proceeding from genuine feelings. A couple synonyms for that, we have genuine, from the heart, wholehearted, deep, right? So in this truth, you want to be sincere. You don't want to do things with pretense, with deceit, right? With ill intent, right? You want to be genuine. You want to be straight from the heart, so-called, as they say in the world, right? So that's the definition of sincere. So we're going to kick it off with Romans 15:4 through the Spirit.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse number 4. It says, whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, right, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Right. So the Lord said beautifully that the things that are written aforetime, they are written for our learning. So all these precepts that we have, all these accounts that we have, we can see through the scriptures how to be sincere, and B, how to not move in the wrong spirit, or doing things with pretense or for the wrong reasons. So we get both ends of the stick through the Spirit. Right, brothers, just got any intro precepts they would like to bring out? Y'all got it.
I was gonna let you start before I get into mine real quick.
All right, Khan. You gonna go on, Job?
Nah,
all right, so we're gonna kick it off with Job 13:15.
Job 10. Let's get it. It's the book of Job, chapter 13, and verse number 15, and it reads, though he slay me, yet will I trust in him, but I will maintain my own ways before him.
Right. So you want to maintain your ways before the Lord. You want to be sincere with the Lord no matter what. And sometimes, people, when things go well, it's easy for them to be sincere. It's easy for them to be, as they say in the world, 10 toes down when things going your way. See, but the thing about sincerity and being genuine in this truth, especially towards Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is that you want to maintain your ways before him no matter what. You want to be sincere no matter what, whether things going your way or not going your way. Job said, hey, look, even though the Lord dealing with me right now, he chastening me, he's slaying me, I'm still going to maintain my ways before him. And that's what you call being sincere. Because you can have somebody, hey, the Lord kind of getting on you, he's shaking a hand at you, his hand is heavy upon you, and you kind of say, well, I don't want to do this no more. It's too much. I liked it better when it was going good.
That's right.
When the Lord gave me rack A's, I'd rather it be that way. Now I'm broke. And now you don't want to do this thing no more. Well, that's not being sincere. What you really in it for? Right. So once again, our forefather Job, these things written aforetime, they written for our learning. We learned through Job his beautiful patience that he had, like I talk about in James 5th chapter. Right. That's another thing that comes with being sincere. You got to be patient. You got to be able to hold it down and endure. Right. So like Job said, even though the Lord is slaying me, and look, I'm gonna maintain my own ways. I'm gonna still hold it down. I'm gonna strive to be perfect. I'm going to strive to continuously have faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And that's how we got to be in this truth as well. That's all about being sincere. You can't only want to go hard in the paint, when things is going your way and when they so-called working in your favor. As soon as that other end of the stick come, it would, now I don't want to do this no more.
That's right.
And that's off. Right? That's not sincere. Right? You're not in it for the right reason. Right? So that's one beautiful, this topic right here is sincerity. it's a beautiful character development trait that we all essentially try to hold ourselves to, just being sincere in this thing, and truly holding it down for Yahweh Shemi Shah. Brothers got it.
I want to bring out a precept real quick. It's the book of Jeremiah, right? Chapter 48 and verse number 10. And it reads, "Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood." When it comes to being sincere, that's something that you got to continually examine within yourself every day. Make sure certain spirits are not plaguing you and hindering you day in and day out. Why? So you can continue to do the work of the Lord. So you can continue to pray, continue to fast, continue to read, continue to edify your people, right? Continue to teach on the highways and byways. And if you're not being sincere in any, sort of way whatsoever, the Most High can cast you down. And we're going to get those precepts, right? But it says, "Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully." You always got to examine yourself to see whether, you're doing the right thing. Are you finding favor with the Lord? Are you truly loving your brother? Do you truly love your people when you're teaching them? Or are you doing it for likes? You're doing it to get noticed. You're doing it to, get a name or garner attention for yourself in some form of fashion. These are things that are integral to understand, because the Most High, once again, he could take you up out of there. He could replace you easily. He doesn't really need you. Anybody could take your spot. But, since he's chosen you, it's better if you be sincere in the first place. So you can, you don't have to find out what those consequences are going to be like in the end, right? So Buzz got it real quick. Just want to put that out.
They got that center word. They say F around and find out.
Yep.
Hey, when you go, you don't want to kind of tempt the Lord, man, and mess around and find out.
That's right.
Like the scripture say, "Cursed be he that do the work of the Lord deceitfully." You don't want to be out there shaking a hand for what they call it, cool points. When they say you want brownie, you want cookie, brownie points. You're kind of shaking a hand for brownie points. That's doing the work of the Lord deceitfully. But you got it, King.
Sirach chapter 5, verse 11.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 11. Right. "Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answer."
It says, "Let thy life be sincere." So that can go to a plethora of things, like anything in this truth. You always want to be sincere and have sincerity, because, like you said, doing this work deceitfully, it could, it could lead to bad things. It could, you just don't want to do that. Can you read that again?
It's the book of Sirach 5 and 11. Yeah. "Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answer."
So that life be sincere. That goes into being integral. Like when you're not around, right? We're helping out, giving alms, or teaching, or exhorting a brother. It says, "Let it be sincere." It's like we can't get off that fact enough, brownie points, because it's like, if you're doing it deceitfully, then Lord, he could have his way with you, and we don't want to be humbled by the Lord, at all. So my brother's got it.
Also, just a quick point to elaborate on that. When it says cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, that means you're just doing it to save face. So it's incumbent upon you to always continually examine yourself day in and day out. In this truth, you can't really take days off. In this truth, you can't really take weeks off and say, well, I'm not happy. Because if you really sincere, you're too busy making your body a living sacrifice day in and day out. Yes. And then, there's other brothers that are out there, that remain steadfast. It may need your exhortation, may need your wisdom, may need you to be there, maybe financially, physically, to help them with, whatever plethora of things they may be dealing with in their life. So it's incumbent upon you, of course, to be determined to stay fervent in this truth, and of course, stay on fire and be sincere. Because what's in the world? What's in the world for you? Only but death and destruction. You know how many people in the world are really not sincere? They don't know how to be sincere. They were never taught how. But in this truth, you learn how. You have teachers, you have brothers, you have elders in this truth that you can go to, that you can talk to learn how to do it, to progress, to increase. So how much more on you to sit back and not want to do it, make excuses, and God forbid go back into the world or get taken out. The Most High take His spirit from you. So just a quick point on that.
Con brothers brought out mightily through the spirit, man. So I just want to let me back off what Josiah brought out as well. Let your life be sincere. And like he was mentioning, he mentioned several different things. It's the your whole life, everything you do. You want to be sincere in all that you set your hand forth to do. You can't just, okay, this moment you want to be sincere with this particular thing, but with this you don't. No, the scripture say, let your whole life be sincere. So as you journeying through this truth, you want to be sincere in all that you do, right? Now, what I want to do is I want to get a account, to admonish, ourselves, and the sheep, of course, on how you don't want to be. You don't want to be this way and moving in a non-sincere manner, because essentially what this account led to, we don't want this for any brother, or sister, right, or child, right? We don't want this for ourselves. So let's go to let's get First Maccabees 5:55.
Come on, said 5.
Yep.
All right, let's get it. Salakia. It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 5, and verse 55. And it reads, "Now what time as Judas and Jonathan were in the land of Gilead, and Simon his brother in Galilee before Ptolemy."
Right.
Verse 56. Joseph, the son of Zacharias, and Azarias, captains of the garrisons.
Right. So they captains of the garrison. You have Joseph, the son of Zacharias, and Azarias. They captains of the garrison. So they already have a name, essentially. They're captains. That's a high, so-called a mighty title. You're a captain of the garrison, man, and you the chief man set over this garrison.
Right.
Okay. How much more do you want?
Yeah.
Will you be lord of the garrison? So they already have a mighty name within themselves. But see, when you're not sincere, and I guess now I gotta throw it in there, when you're not content, it's a time and a place when the Lord can exhort or debase or whatever the case may be. It's a time and a place for all of that. You got to be content. You already captain. How far do you want to take it? Right? Go ahead.
Verse 56. Joseph, the son of Zacharias, and Azarias, captains of the garrisons, heard of the valiant acts and warlike deeds which they had done.
Right. So they're hearing about the valiant and warlike acts that everybody has done. Go ahead.
Wherefore they said, "Let us also get us a name."
They say,
"Let us also get us a name."
So here we have it now. This is where the cookie crumbled. This is where the sincerity it kind of vanished. Now we read the definition of being sincere. You doing things without pretense. Right. There's no wicked notions. Right? Can we pull up sincere one more time, Baba Kashar?
We got you, King. Sincere, free from pretense or deceit.
So the definition we have here, it says it's free from pretense. It's free from deceit. Right? Go ahead.
Proceeding from genuine feelings.
Right. So they was not moving in sincerity. They move with pretense. Yeah. They say, they did a mighty act. Ezekiel, he kind of slew 3 lions, man. Say Joe, he kind of slew 8 bears. Yeah. What about me?
What about me?
What about me? Spirit?
I gotta get mine now. Look what you're doing. Let me do the same. Let me emulate what you're doing, so I can be like you.
I'm already captain of the garrison.
We're the same people. We're doing it for the Lord, but I know I can do better.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And you already got a name. You captain. You ain't captain and nobody know who you are. You don't hold the title of captain. And you're just a small fry.
Right.
Exactly. You captain. Hey, they know who. They know who the captain of the host is. Yeah. They know who the captain. They know who the captain is. All right. And you say, I just need more. I need to be part of those valiant acts. I got to get in there too. And that's essentially what happened. They lost that wholeheartedness, that genuineness. And I ain't even gonna say they lost it. I can't really say if it was really there to begin with, because they already was hearing about all the mighty acts that everyone else had done. And they say, they had been plotting on this.
Truly, ultimately, is the fear of the Lord. Because when you're walking in the fear of the Lord, your steps are going to be ordered or right. And you're gonna do things decently and in order.
That's
when you're going against that order, that's not being sincere. As a matter of fact, that's where the Most High is going to cast you down.
Yeah, being rebellious and disobedient, moving out of pocket. That's one thing. The Lord said, let all things be done decently in order. You can't run and jump the gun and do your own thing.
All right.
When you kind of move out of things that the Most High got set up, there are consequences. You got it. Can you keep reading on that, Baba Shah?
Wherefore they said, "Let us also get us a name and go fight against the heathen that are round about us." So when they had given charge unto the garrison that was with them, they went to Jamnia. Verse 59. Then came Gorgias and his men out of the city to fight against them. And so it was that Joseph and Azarias were put to flight.
They were what?
They were put to flight.
See, when you're not moving in sincerity, these men got put to flight. You know, and that's that's heavy. Like the brother said, being humble to begin with, that's half the battle. Yeah. But like the brother Josiah said, you kind of don't want the Lord to, have to get busy with you. I'll put it like that. You don't want the Lord to have to get busy with you. Now, of course, if that's what it got to be, we're gonna be men, except our chastening, whatever the case may be. And Lord willing, continuously endure and learn from our mistakes after the Lord scourge us, as He do to whom He loveth. If you talk about in Hebrews 12:5 on down, So if the Lord has to admonish you, then of course so be it. But really, if you can avoid it, by all means, you don't want the Lord to get up with you, as brothers say all the time, because He can't do it. Yes. He will do it, So if you can avoid it, by all means, avoid it. You got to go ahead.
Just quick point, and that's also spiritual, because it says that they were put to flight. And if you're not careful, you may be put to flight by whatever spirits that are hindering you. Why? Because you want to be double-minded. Why? Because you're trying to serve the Most High, you're trying to do the work, you're trying to take care of yourself, but also you indulging of other things in the world as well. Not taking that as serious as you're supposed to be in these last moments of this world and this society. Because at the end of the day, these demons, as the times progress and gets worse, so much your spirit must increase more and more, especially not just in sincerity, but overall towards the Lord. But God forbid you go back into the world and you still being double-minded, being cast to and fro with whether it be lust, and whether it be whoremongering, whether it be money, whether it be smoking, whether it be anything in lieu or perverse in this world, you're going to get put to flight just like these men did in a spiritual aspect, right? And then guess what? Where you're going to be? You're either going to be out of the truth, or you're going to most high take your spirit once again. And it's something that's why you always got to continually examine yourself. And of course, be afraid. That's where the fear of the Lord comes in, because God forbid that happens to you. And now you're throwing away your inheritance, right? Yep. Just like these men did.
Yep. And that's beautiful. I like the way the brother put that. It all stems back to the fear of the Lord, because when you do got the fear of the Lord, you will sit in your place. You will sit in your place. You ain't gonna really want to move a muscle here or there, because you fear the Lord. So you really don't want to move out of time for real. Now, of course, we're in the flesh. We fall short. We make mistakes. But that's a little different from you taking things upon yourself and doing what you want to do.
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of just all loss of the fear of the Lord. It's pride.
No humility.
It's the beginning of destruction.
No, that was the spirit I was about to bring out.
You got it.
Now I was gonna add, if you wanted to bring out Sirach 10 and verse 12.
You go ahead.
Come on, I'll bring it out real quick. Get to it. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 10, and verse 12, and it reads, "For the beginning of pride is with one departed from God, and his heart is turned away from his maker."
And that's literally what this is going into. Like, they already got their set position, the captains, it's like, what preeminence are you looking for? Like, what else do you need?
Get that name.
All right, it says the beginning of pride is when one departed from God. And if you jump 13, it reads, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And it says, and therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly.
That's right on the money.
Yeah, just head on the nail. It don't get any
bullseye.
Yeah,
because pride goeth before destruction.
Bullseye. That was beautiful. Mighty precept, right on the money in due season.
I'll pull out this precept I wanted to pull out for about being sincere while being in this truth. Because something we got to always do is always understand that, as we're dying daily, as we're making our bodies a living sacrifice, we got to give everything we can. You got to sacrifice not seeing your family as much as you would have liked to anymore. Certain friends that, they don't really believe in what you believe in. Certain things that could take you out the truth, possibly. So, you got to put your whole mind, your whole heart, and your whole soul towards the Lord, like it tells you in the law. Let's get this in 1 Corinthians. I don't know why this messing up like this. 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 13. You there?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want you to read this for me, and I want to break this down.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 13.
And before he reads this is a heavy precept on self-examination and being sincere, right? Come on.
1 Corinthians 9 and 13. Do ye not know that they which minister about holy things live of the things of the temple?
And that's something that we got to realize within ourselves, because right now we ourselves, just individuals, we are the temple of the Lord. And altogether, the whole nation of Israel is the temple of the Lord by itself, because we're building up the tabernacle of David that's falling down. So at the end of the day, if you're serving these holy things, you're out there teaching, doing the work, trying to wake up your people in these last moments, in these last days. How much more in regards to serving, how much more sincere should you be, right? Come on.
And they which wait at the altar are partakers with the altar.
Right, come on.
Even so have the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel.
And this is what you've been ordained to do. Doesn't it tell you when Paul writes, when it comes to the elect, that you are ordained and predestined from the foundation of the earth? Even Yahushua told you in John 15 and 16, I have chosen you. You have not chosen me. So the Lord have ordained you to do this. But if you're not being sincere and you're not taking care of the Lord's temple, which temple ye are, which Paul tells you, then how much more of a sword destruction is going to come upon you? That once again, that's why you always got to continually examine yourself and subdue your own understanding, because you know what, you don't want to get caught up out here and it's going to be 10 times worse for you. Because if you're going to become a dog that goes back to his own vomit, it's very incumbent upon you and very pivotal that you look within yourself and be like, you know what, I'm going off here. You know what, let me cast this. It's offending me. It's bothering me to the point where I'm not putting my focus and my energy towards the Lord like I should. And you know what? I'm not truly living this gospel. I'm being a hypocrite. And the hypocrite should not see the salvation nor stand in the presence of the Lord. And many precepts say that, right? So I yield on that.
Verse 15. But I have used none of these things, neither have I written these things that it should be so done unto me. For it were better for me to die than that any man should make my glorying void. For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of. For necessity is laid upon me. Yea, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. Verse 17, here's the point. For if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed to me. So the point I want to touch on is how Paul said, if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. And that's sincere. The sincere brothers in this truth, sisters, children in this truth, those are the ones that's going to get the reward. The ones that do this thing willingly out of a genuine heart. Because everybody don't do this thing willingly. Everybody don't do this thing because they just straight up and down love Yahweh while Yahweh shot. And they just want to go hard for the Lord and go hard for their nation. The Lord like dealing with people that do things of a willing heart. Because you have people that do things for the wrong reason. Doing it willingly, you don't even care about the glory of man, like Paul is saying. You don't even care about the glory. You don't care about the boast of man. Right? You do this thing willingly for Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai. And then you'll get your reward. We look for our reward to come from the Most High.
That's right. Straight
up and down.
That's why you can't be a hypocrite preaching this gospel, which was committed unto you.
Never good.
No.
I'm gonna pull this one out that I had in Sirach 1.
Yeah.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 1, verse number 29. And it reads, be not a hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest. Meaning, you out here preaching the gospel. You out here, you an Israelite. You got to wake up your people, your friends, your family, out there on the highways and byways. You speak of these things very highly and very strongly, right? But it's telling you not be a hypocrite. And there's a reason why, right? Come on. Verse 30. And it says, exalt not thyself lest thou fall, and bring not dishonor upon thine own soul. And you don't do that, you understand not to do that by being sincere in the first place. That's why it's telling you not to be a hypocrite, right? Because if you do these things, guess what? You're going to be destroyed and bring dishonor upon thy soul. Because then guess what? God forbid you go back into the world. It was just a phase. We know it wasn't really all that. You was in the cult, it was just some new information you found, right? See, I told you the whole time.
Right.
I knew you was lying. See that? And
hurt.
and what is it? What does it say? And so God discovered thy secrets and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation, because thou camest not in the truth to the fear of the Lord, but thy heart is full of deceit. And that deceit is not putting the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai first in everything that you do, in every aspect that you do each and every day. Because guess what? You want to deal with, once again, you want to deal with certain spirits, secret sins. You know, maybe you got this woman on the side back in the world. Maybe you got certain plays you're trying to run with, you know, one of your homeboys. You're trying to catch up on some money. You know, it's these little things, these little intricate things that can really destroy you. Because guess what? If you're not really being sincere, how are you going to catch him? You know, you think that you're stronger than what you are. You lean into your own understanding. But, you know, your own mind tells you more than 7 watchmen, like it tells you in Sirach 37-14. So it's best to just be humble and not have to deal with these spirits and, you know, walk in the fear of the Lord in the first place and keep that faith. Because honestly, even when you keep in that faith, you may not even be sincere right now, but you're working towards it. But as long as you have fear and faith, you at least know that, you know what, you know, the Most High, he gonna help me. He gonna help me purge out these spirits. I'm gonna keep reading these accounts. I'm not gonna fall out like one of these men. Because even when you read the account of Saul from 1 Samuel, from just chapters 10 to verse 15, you know, Saul started off strong, you know, doing the will of the Lord, did whatever he needed him to. But then Saul, he started to do his own things, his own way. And then guess what? Eventually, the most High saw a man after his own heart, right? Because why? He was rebellious, you know. And even another account, you know, just roughly paraphrasing, Judas walked with Yahushua. Judas walked with the 12. But at the end of the day, you know, after he had walked with the 12, guess what? Towards the end, he did not truly examine that covetous spirit that was on him. And then guess what? He was given over to Satan. So, you know, you gotta, you know, examine these things within yourself, right? That you may continue to be sincere and not be like one of these men. You know, one of our forefathers that just end up getting destroyed. Why? Because they were hypocrites and they were not sincere. And they tried to, you know, think they were more than what they were, but ended up getting destroyed in the end. But brothers got it.
We get Philippians 1:9.
John.
Brother brought it out very excellent and eloquent. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Mighty points. That's definitely one serious aspect. You know, it is truth when it comes to being sincere. You definitely want to be sincere because the hypocrisy, you know, the Lord, that's one thing he really don't like. You know, that hypocrisy, and it definitely can get you casted away for sure. You know, and it's a difference between, you know, falling short, you know, while we subject to vanity and trying to get back up and go 10 times harder and forsake these several different spirits, you know, these several different chief faults and thorns that you may have, versus you just straight up and down being completely ASS backwards towards the words of the Lord and towards righteousness and towards the things that you utter, that you may preach to others. You know, like talk about in Matthew the 7th chapter. You know, I mean, you got to get the moat out your own now.
That's right.
You know, straight up and down. Let's get this real quick. We're going to read down.
Philippians 1:9.
Oh, you can start at 9, King.
Philippians chapter 1 and verse 9. And this I pray, that your love may abound yet more and more in knowledge and in all judgment.
Right.
That ye may approve things that are excellent.
Right.
That you may be sincere.
That you may what?
That you may be sincere.
So Paul said, hey, approve things that are excellent and that you may be sincere. Now, we know sincerity is definitely an excellent trait. You know, so, you know, any sincere brother, sister, child in this truth would approve of sincerity. And Paul goes on to say that ye may be sincere. Go ahead. Without
offense until the day of Hamashiach.
Right. So you want to be sincere all the way to the day of Hamashiach, Yahushua, man, until the Lord return. Right. Or, you know, whenever your day may be, you know, brothers may die martyrs. You know, you want to be sincere all the way to the end of your race. Right. Whenever the Lord want to conclude it for you. You know, you just want to be sincere until you can't no more. You know, and that is a good thing to be approved of, sincerity. So you want to be sincere all the way until this thing is over with, until you have fulfilled your course with joy, Lord, with. Yeah, point. Appreciate.
No.
You want to read verse 11?
Yeah.
Verse 11. Being filled with the first fruits. So like it, being filled with fruits of righteousness, which are by Yahushua HaMashiach, unto the glory and praise of Yahweh.
Right. And sincerity is definitely a fruit of righteousness. Right. And that's plain. You want to be filled with fruits of righteousness. You want to be filled with good works.
Yeah.
Right. And being sincere is a beautiful character trait, a characteristic that we are striving to possess. Right. You can't be hypocritical. That's one thing, not to be too extra, but that's one thing I pray for all the time. Is to be sincere and humble. Because that'll get you a long way in this truth.
That's right.
Being sincere gets you very, very far. Because you can't count on this flesh. Brothers want to be mighty. I know brothers want to be without fault and blameless, as we should. But you kind of subject to something that just, it is what it is. But sincerity is not a fleshly thing. It's something from the inside. It's a spiritual thing, right? So it's something from within. Your mind being right, your mind being sincere. And that's going to lead to you doing sincere works. It's just like when you got to repent with a contrite heart, right? And that's being sincere. That's really feeling bad about what you have done. That takes sincerity. That's something from within. And why are you repenting to begin with? Why? Because you're in some subject to vanity. That just can't stamp you official. So your next best bet is to at least be sincere.
That's right.
Now you got some brothers there without fault. They ain't just going off day to day or month to month, week to week. They probably been on fire 8+ years. And ain't did that nasty little thing in the night. It's probably been a great while. And look, all praises. And how did they get that far? To even have the worthiness in the eyes of the Most High to have that flesh under subjection by being sincere and humble. And that's going to get you a very long way. And that's a beautiful characteristic to have, and it's true, especially as a babe. Babes come in, they see a lot of glitz and glamour. Oh, he cut him up.
That's right.
Yeah.
He told everybody online to get a preset. I gotta be like that. Well, look, that may not even be your lot, brother.
That's right.
You may be a servant of the church. Maybe your job to give alms, bring snacks, waters, hand warmers. So especially as a babe coming into this truth, you definitely want to be sincere. You want to have your mind right. When you let's get to right 1924 Bible shop. When you a babe first coming into this thing, before you even, of course, the wisdom and knowledge is gonna come. It's gonna come. But one thing you definitely should focus on, especially as a babe in the truth, just be sincere and humble. It's a lot of exciting things and whatnot. It's a lot of things that may attract the eyes. But sometimes, first coming into this thing, it's easy for your attention to be grabbed by vanity, off how things look. Oh, that was mighty. I want to do that.
Yeah.
I have to be like that. So you want to be sincere at the end of the day. Bring this out.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 24. He that has small understanding and fear of the Most High is better than one that have much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High.
Right. So you want to be sincere. It's okay to have small understanding as long as you at least fear the Lord.
Right.
Fearing the Lord is sincere. Right? You say, look, hey, look, I know what I'm saying. Get on me for that.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just hold it down and just go and do what's right. Nope. I love the Most High, and I want to strive for righteousness. Just be sincere and hold it down. And that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding will come. Versus you, you kind of 6 months in, 7 months in, now you think you're the coldest teacher in Israel. Because the Most High kind of let you get Daniel 9 like the back of your hand. So now you got much wisdom.
Yeah.
But you ain't got the flesh locked down. What profit if thee?
Yeah, exactly.
Reverend kind of say, I know Revelation with my eyes closed. 1 to 22. You can't tell me nothing.
All the breakdowns.
All the breakdowns.
I already went over them all the time. You can't tell me no more. I've learned.
Yep. But you still at 12 midnight, in the dark. With all the lights off.
Right.
And the only thing lit up is that phone.
Kind of.
And you doing things you ought not to do. All right.
I got one last precept on what I want to bring out.
So it's better to be sincere, especially as a baby coming into this thing and just holding it down and letting that growth and that beautiful wisdom come with time. Just be sincere and be in this thing for the right thing, not just because it looked good, because it looked mighty. Brothers getting fresh with fringes on, and you seeing this teacher bring it out. You want to be just like that. I'm not saying it's wrong to aspire for greatness. Of course, go as hard as you can go and be the best you can be for y'all about your shot, but do it in sincerity and be sincere in all that you do. You got it.
Con.
And I got one after you.
This is my last one I want to bring out. It's the book of 1 John, chapter 3, and verse 18. It says, "My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth." And you know, that's the most powerful aspect in being sincere, being a doer of the word, not just hearing it. You know, because yeah, brothers might want to teach, but you know, guess what? Just like another brother took time to study, you know, learn the history of certain accounts, learn the history of our forefathers in certain eras, and guess what? Also prophecy as well, and the milk, the meat, you know, as well as the bread. Nevertheless, they have to do these things in sincerity to progress and increase in the truth. You know, it can't just do these things like, you know, just for show, just to get views, just to say, oh man, brother, you brought out mighty, but it's like it's not about that. You know, it's about waking up your people. You know, brothers not gonna remember how mighty you taught it in Jacob's trouble. They're gonna remember how, you know, how sincere you was if you continue to endure, if you continue to overcome. That's the most important thing. How many Christians, how many people in the world say a lot of things and they chatter and they talk a lot, but none, it don't match up with their actions. You know, they have no idea what the Bible is about. They have no idea who it's written for, what it's about, who it's written to. Even our people that read the Bible, they don't even understand that it's written for themselves. But if they were sincere and humble, they would actually learn, okay, that is me. That is my people right there. We are going through those conditions right now. Oh, wow. That is, you know, Isaiah 42 and 22, our people is robbed and spoiled, hidden in prison houses. That it do say that. You know, these are the simple concepts, and it all leads back to being sincere. Right. Because you don't want to end up being confounded while being in this truth. Because we read precepts with the Most High. If you know, when you live in this gospel, you got to teach it as well. But if you being a hypocrite, the Most High is going to cast you off and get out of there. Then what's going to become of you? You still got to answer for that on Judgment Day. You still got to get, you know, like the angel going to ask, like, what's this about? What are we doing here? You know, and it's going to be you're going to get confounded in that day because you didn't come with the right spirit. You didn't truly examine yourself. You know, if the prophets and the men of old were told these things, how much more are you? You know, if Yahweh Shai said in Matthew 18 and 3, come as a little child, you know, and therefore be converted, how much more you now? So it's just about sincerity. And to be sincere, I would say, you know, examine yourself. Lord, the most important aspects of being sincere is to be humble, to have faith, and to have fear, and then patience. Because brothers and sisters are not going to become sincere overnight. You can't repent overnight. If that was the case, the kingdom of heaven would have probably been here long ago. So brothers got to take their time, have some patience, and, you know, examine yourself throughout that process, because it is a process. And you know, study to show thyself approved as well. Because don't just be someone that, like it says, love, you know, let us not love in word, meaning you talk about it, but your actions is opposite. So brothers got it.
Can you get First Maccabees chapter 6 and start at verse the
43.
Yeah, you start at 43.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 6, and verse 43. It says, Eleazar also, surnamed Savaran, perceiving that one of the beasts armed with royal harness was higher than all the rest, and supposing that the king was upon him.
So the brother Eleazar, it says he saw this royal harness, and you know, he thought that the king was on this beast because, you know, the way he was presented, the way he looked, right?
Verse 44, put himself in jeopardy to the end that he might deliver his people and get him a perpetual name.
Wait, read that again.
Put himself in jeopardy that he might deliver his people and get him a perpetual name.
So this brother Eleazar, he wanted to go out of his way, right? Put himself in jeopardy, it says. In jeopardy. It says that he might deliver his people and get a perpetual name. Everyone's saying his name, right? That preeminence,
praise, that fame, that glory, that honor.
Yeah, and it says, yes, to get him a perpetual name. It's like that's the whole topic, is being sincere. It's like that goes to integrity too, because while everyone's not looking, this is like what he wants to do. Right? This is one time to shine. Right, Rita?
Verse 45, and it reads, wherefore he ran upon him courageously through the midst of the battle, slaying on the right hand and on the left, so that they were divided from him on both sides.
Right.
Verse 46. Which done, he crept under the elephant and thrust him under and slew him, whereupon the elephant fell upon him, and there he died.
So it says he put himself in jeopardy to get perpetual name, run through the midst of the battle, just trying to like going the extra mile just to do this, right? And it says he slew the elephant, so he got what he wanted. But as you read, it says whereupon the elephant fell down upon him, there he died. So that's playing upon table. It's him trying to get that name for himself, him trying to have that preeminent spirit and say like, yes, this is something I'll be remembered by. This is something that my name will be around me even when I'm gone. And just like that, Lord just he made the elephant fall on him, and yeah, he got what's coming to him.
Yeah. So, and that's going to show you, hey, even on a carnal level, not being sincere, you can actually literally die. You know. Let's go to First Maccabees 5 real quick and go down to verse 60. Baba Kasha.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 5, and verse 60. And so it was that Joseph. We had read this, I think. No, 60. Mm-hmm. And so it was that Joseph and Azarias were put to flight and pursued unto the borders of Judea, and there were slain that day of the people of Israel about 2,000 men.
You see that? Now I want to let me back off this because I didn't really speak on it earlier, but you not being sincere and doing things for preeminence and being self-willed, that can not only overthrow yourself, but the congregation. 2,000 men lost their lives. You know? So that's how serious it is. And this is simply a character development trait.
Right.
Is it someone that you can work on the inside? Just being sincere. You know, it can either go you a long way or it can make you fall very, very short. You know, to the point of even no return. And then the overthrow of even others. Now, how would you feel at the end of the day? You know, you jam up the congregation because you just wasn't being sincere. Those people that got jammed there will be highly mad.
Yeah.
All right. You mean tell me we die because you blah, 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 blah? Just because you wanted to this and do that? For real, bro? Jake even feel like that in the world. Really, bro? That's what Jake gonna hit you with. For real, bro?
Yep.
Is you serious, bro? Really? Because you wanted this? Right? Jake do it. Jake real carnal. You know, Jake go to the sense of stealing, scamming, so he could do what? Get a chain, get a watch.
Impress Eve.
Many have run out of their wits for women. Right? Just because you ain't being sincere. You just want to do this to be popular on IG. Get 1,000 likes, 80 retweets, right? And whatever the hell else.
That's right.
Would it be hood famous? Everybody on the block know you.
Right.
Yeah, that's Big E coming down the block.
Worldly name.
Yeah, worldly name. All this perpetual name, man. Jake do it in the world too. You know. So being sincere, it just gets you jammed up 10 times over.
Yeah.
And I got one more. This is 1 Samuel 12 and 20.
You know, and that's a sweet point for real that you have made, because when you are sincere and you're moving in the right spirit, especially if you're a part of a particular body, guess what? You're going to exhort other brothers to do the same. Exactly. You're actually helping other brothers be more sincere because they're looking at your example. And you know what? That brother done came a long way. I remember him at the beginning of the truth. We both came in the truth together. Or, you know, I came in the truth a little bit after him, or he after me. And, you know, look at where he increased to. Look where he moved to. You know what? I need to move in that same spirit too, especially if he's trying to be sincere, you know, and of course we need our women out here to be sincere as well.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's another priority and another topic for another day. But, you know, our women have been so destroyed, but we need to teach them these prime examples as well. Well, so why they can be a better mothers, better wives, you know, to their households. And that's how you build a nation, a better foundation, right? So this book of 1 Samuel 12 and what?
That's that 12 and 20. That's that character development. This go for everybody. You know, being your brother's keeper. I mean, yeah, you do it on a carnal level. You know, you have your brother back. You know, maybe send him arms or whatever the case may be. Yeah, those things are true. But being your brother's keeper is also being a better you.
Yep.
because you play a role on the body. You have an effect on the body. I mean, some brothers may lose their damn mind if certain brothers ain't on fire. If certain brothers ain't constantly bringing it out.
Ain't come to camp.
If certain brothers ain't being sincere.
Yeah.
Brothers look up to brothers, man. You know, brothers literally look up to brothers. You being sincere and doing what you got to do, and that same spirit could pour amongst the rest of the body. You know, that sister amongst the congregation. You know, you being sincere. You being genuine. Right. You being wholehearted in all that you do. And sisters see that. And they take right after you in the spirit that you're moving in righteousness and sincerity. Right? So, it affects the body at the end of the day. You know, straight up and down, being your brother's keeper is, trying to be on fire.
That's right.
Trying not to freak off. Right? Trying to put off the old man. That's being your brother's keeper as well. Like I said, what his brothers was bringing out on the corner not too long ago, being no schisms, man, among the body.
That's right.
You know, straight up and down. So being your brother's keeper is not just a carnal aspect. You know, you bought him this, you bought him that, or, you know, you beat up the heathen for him, you know, whatever. Yeah, okay, cool, all praises. But it's also you being a better you, because everybody play a role in the body. You know, when you come, brothers, we might not have the world's greatest discernment, right? But the Lord gave us a little something. Brothers could see right through brothers' spirit when brothers come around. You tell a brother low through the spirit, sad through the spirit. Yeah. Brothers could see right through that, man. And that plays a role, because guess what? The body gonna be concerned. Hey, what's going on? Like, you all right now? Especially when you play a big role in the body. Everybody play a role. That's for sure.
And that could put a spirit on another brother.
Yeah, but certain brothers, like, you play such of a role that you affect the body in a high aptitude. Right. All right. Yeah, very, you know, what the brand new prospect that been here in 2 weeks, what he do may not be that deep as what the damn captain do. You know, I mean, you kind of expect certain things from somebody that's fresh. All right. The expectation is not really that high. You can see this happening, you can see that happening. Okay, yeah, that's typical. It's only 2 weeks.
Right. That's right.
All right. But you got brother, captain, man. Damn officer, you know. What they do matter.
That's right.
You got a brother that's a soldier, very seasoned soldier, whatever the case may be. And what you do matter. So being your brother's keeper is being the best version of you. And that's why, Lord willing, the Most High may let this segment continue of character development. You know, brothers gonna get the breakdown. You gonna know Revelation 20 like the back of hand. Don't worry about it. Kings will be all right. You know, if the Lord wants you to be exuberant in prophecy, you will be so. You know, it's nothing that can hinder the will of the Lord. All right. But in the meantime, tween time, work on being a better you. That's where it all started. You know, for the brother Ezekiel here, for myself, for Josiah, and we just trying to be better us. Right. At the end of the day, and that's what's gonna make the Lord shine upon you, His countenance to smile upon you and shine upon you, like we talk about in Numbers 6 chapter. Is you being a better you. You know, that's not to discourage brothers from, you know, diving into the in-depth breakdowns and prophecy. No, go ahead. You know, go hard on this thing. You know, well, all that get wisdom. You know, get understanding. Oh, for sure, no doubt about it. But at the same time, you want to work on your character and try to be the best you at the end of the day. Because, I mean, we see these things within all our forefathers, the mighty righteous ones.
Right.
We even see some things in the bad ones, and we learn not to go after that. You know, I mean, look at David. He was a prophet. He had, it say he had the wisdom as if it was of an angel. But he had what at the end of the day? Character. He had integrity.
He did.
Right? He had sincerity. David had faults. He had slip-ups. But he was what? Sincere at the end of the day. You know, straight up and down. We don't have to go on a rant on David's mistakes. You know, we know what he did. But what? He was sincere and his heart was right with the Lord.
It's true.
At the end of the day. And that comes from being sincere. You got it. Bring that out about the shot.
It's the book of 1 Samuel, right?
Yeah.
You said chapter 12 and 20.
Yeah.
It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 12 and verse 20. And Samuel said unto the people, fear not, ye have done all this wickedness.
You have what?
You have done all this wickedness.
So Samuel telling them, he telling Israel straight up, like, you know, look, y'all went off. All right. He said, look, fear not. But you went off. You done great wickedness. Go ahead.
For fear not, ye have done all this wickedness, yet turn not aside from following the Lord.
What Samuel say?
Yet turn not aside from following the Lord.
Go ahead.
But serve the Lord with all your heart.
Was being sincere?
Serve the Lord with all your heart.
So look, brothers may not like it, but hey, even if you went the hell off, that don't mean the show stopped. And the Lord willing, because you never know, that could be your last go off. But Samuel told them straight up, look, y'all done all this wickedness, man. Just man falleth, 7 times, man. Yeah. I don't know the limit on sin. Brother say, the Lord told me I'm only gonna mess up 12 times. I'm gonna endure, but I'm only gonna mess up till you kind of say, well, look here, brother. I see, hey, your limit. I don't know. God forbid I got to do great wickedness. God forbid. We want to be blameless, but nevertheless, even if you fall short, that don't mean give up and stop this road, stop this show. You got to be sincere. Samuel literally told them, be sincere. He say, look, y'all did all this wickedness, but still don't turn aside from following Yahweh Shem Shah. He say, serve the Lord with all your heart, man. Get the Lord all you got. So you got to hold it down in this thing. In a thin list, I can tell you in Sirach, the 17th chapter.
That's right.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 21, and turn ye not aside, but then should ye go after vain things.
So the Lord said, if you turn aside, you only going to go after vain things. So you got to be sincere in this truth and hold it down. Because if you're not, then what? Vain things await. If you don't want to be sincere and you want to be in it for the wrong thing, well, that's vain within itself. And then what? Vain things await. What are those vain things? The world. And the lust thereof, and the love thereof.
And the cares thereof.
And the cares thereof. The thirst, the hunger thereof. Right? All because you don't want to be sincere and serve the Lord with all your heart. You're going to fall short. You're going to mess up. But like I say, don't let that be the end of the road. Be sincere and hold it down 10 toes and keep enduring. And don't go after vain things. Go ahead.
Which cannot profit nor deliver, for they are vain.
For they are what?
For they are vain.
The Lord said these other things can't even profit and deliver you. I mean, they all vain. So not being sincere and taking a vain route ain't gonna get you nowhere. Y'all act like thermonuclear firing ain't finna touch the earth.
That's right.
I mean, this vanity ain't gonna save you from it. You still gonna stay in the bunker forever.
See that?
Man, no. So you better off being sincere, being genuine hearted to the Lord, and enduring no matter what. All Lord willing. Drop down to 24, ain't gonna be long-winded, so like
let me jump down to verse 24.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Verse 24, and it reads, only fear Yahweh and serve him in truth with all your heart.
Was being sincere?
With all your heart.
You want to serve the Lord in truth with all your heart. So even Samuel is admonishing Israel to be sincere, man. I mean, the Lord, I'm going to be honest, your sincerity will override your wickedness. If you're really that sincere. Because I mean, if all it takes for you to fall one simple time, well, we wouldn't even have David. We won't even have the mighty David.
It's true.
Right? If all it takes is just one little whoopty doop, and that's it. Well, we'd be missing a lot of mighty forefathers. I'll tell you that much. It says, serve him in truth with all your heart. Be sincere. And what he admonished them at the end of the day. That's what I, admonish myself. That's what I admonish Israel. Serve the Lord in truth with all your heart. Be sincere. Like I say, your sincerity will get you far in this truth. Now that don't mean, because don't take it out of context. Yeah, the brother said be sincere, and I whoop you. Now I ain't all right. Don't be foolish. Don't be simple now. All right. That don't mean do whatever you want. Freak off till the sun come back up. Well, I still love you, Lord. I'm sincere. I didn't say all that now. All right. Serve the Lord in truth and be sincere. Be genuine hearted. Be wholehearted. With no pretense. With no wicked or deceit behind it. Right? And you'll be able to atone for those sins. You'll be able to repent with a contrite heart. And the Lord will see you fitting and worthy, Lord, willing to give you the victory over these chief thorns and demons, these briars and bristles. Go ahead.
And serve him in truth with all your heart. For consider how great things he have done for you.
Verse 25.
Verse 25. But if ye shall do wickedly, ye shall be consumed.
What the Lord say?
But if ye shall do wickedly, ye shall be consumed.
Now, if you want to sit here and not be sincere, you still want to do your own thing for the wrong reason, with ill will, pretense, deceit, well, the Lord made it plain. I ain't had to repeat it.
Right.
The Lord say what it's going to be, straight up and down. You want to do your own thing? You want to be sincere? You want to come into the true fear of the Lord? Well, bada boom, bada bang. It is what it is. You got it, King.
Just 2 precepts. I'm actually going to get Proverbs 16 and verse 3.
Second book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse number 3. And it reads, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established.
It says, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Right. So being sincere in this thing, it goes into our works as well. Right. Reading, praying, fasting. Right. And then that allows, it's a shield and it's protection, right, from our chief thorns and it's truth that we know what it is, and it just blocks it out, because once we're committing our works to the Lord, right, He's going to establish our thoughts, right, and our main focus in this truth is, of course, to be sincere and integral at the end of the day. So, praise God.
Yep, commit your works unto the Lord, man. You know, and that's sincere within itself. Commitment. You know, you want to stay dedicated and committed to this truth and sincerity at the end of the day, and then say your thoughts to be established. The Lord will make your mind right.
Right.
You know, because I mean, a lot of the times people do things, you know, in a non-sincere fashion or for whatever old reason is because their mind not right. But if you commit your works to the Lord and be sincere, well, your mind will be right, and you'll continue to be sincere.
Right,
You'll continue to be on fire. And give one last precept: 1 Kings 14 and 8.
Okay. It's the book of 1 Kings.
That'll be my last one.
Kind of probably be the last one, man. It's the book of first closing precept.
Yeah, they could be closing. Got it.
Okay. It's the book of 1 Kings, chapter 14, and verse number 8, and it reads, 1 Kings 14 and 8, and rent the kingdom away from the house of David, and gave it thee, and yet thou hast not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments.
Who did what?
Who kept my commandments.
Go ahead.
And who followed me with all his heart.
And did what?
And followed me with all his heart, to do that which was right in mine eyes.
Right. So David followed the Lord with all his heart, straight up and down. Right. And that's being sincere right there. Like I said, we know David fell short, but he ain't stop. He ain't say, oh, well, this the end all be all. You know, I know the Lord gonna chasten me. Things not gonna be in my favor. Well, I don't want to do this no more. Right. No. He had integrity. He stood up like a man, took everything to the chin, and he endured, and he stayed sincere and wholesomely dedicated to Yahweh B'Shem Shai, and he followed the Lord no matter what. You know, so that's, you know, Lord willing, we can attain to this ourselves continually, you know, being sincere and following the Lord no matter what, genuinely, wholeheartedly, not for no deceit, not for no ill will, you know, not for no weird pretense or none of that. Just sincerely trying to follow Yahweh B'Shem Shai until it's all said and done. And Lord willing, we may have mercy in that day when it's all said and done. You know, so Lord willing, Israel was edified, exhorted, you know, uplifted, encouraged, you know, to work on their character in the aspect of being sincere, having a more sincere spirit, you know, being genuine in this thing, ultimately all towards Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, you know, towards Yahushua, towards yourself, towards your household, towards your congregation, towards the body as a whole. You know, so once again, Lord willing, Israel was edified, you know, through the Spirit. And we would like to give all praises, double honor, and glorification to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, HaMashiach, Wamalak Yahushua, Barakatah, and Kwame Yashah,
Kwame Yashah,
Kwame Yashah,
Kwame Yashah,
Kwame Yashah,
Kwame Yashah,
Shalom.
Shalom.